first off,
Okay, it started.
yeah. So I know we want to do sort of like a rundown of like how this works. The system is pretty simple.
So we're not doing the video in full 20?
No.
Oh, because I can't see anything.
Well, okay, you can hear us.
I know.
It's okay.
I like seeing faces.
Well, I know. I'm sorry.
You could just call me a robot.
That just is going to take up bandwidth that we don't need.
Okay.
It's fine. You can hear us. It's okay.
It's like old-timey radio.
Yeah.
I know. Y'all can all see each other, but
You're really getting
okay,
into it.
The system is pretty simple. It's a D100 system, so that means everybody has the skills that when we talked about it. So if you open up your character sheet, all that stuff should be in there. All the stuff, there's that huge list of skills that you have. The number that's entered in there is the skill that you currently have. So what you'll do is when you want to roll something, so if I tell you to make a spot hidden check, you'll go and you'll click the little dice symbol next to spot hidden, and it'll come up with a pretty complicated list of things, but really we're only ever going to look at one thing. So I'll do one for Adam just so we can all see it. So this is what it looks like if you look in the chat. So if you look at, it looks bad, it looks weird, but if you, all we're going to look at is the first number under value is your skill at the moment, and the first number under rolled is the number that you rolled. So in this case, if Adam's skill at spot hidden was a 25, which it is, and he rolled a 15, that means it's a success. The other values, that 12 and 5, are for any case that the skill check is considered hard or extremely hard, in which case you have to roll under half or 1/5 of your current skill. That's not going to happen that often. There are also cases where you might get a penalty die, like if you're trying to drive and it's like really heavy rain, that might be a penalty die. Or if you're trying to drive and there's just no traffic out, that might be a bonus die for you. In which case, one bonus die, you'll want to look at the +1. One penalty die, you'll look at the -1. It'll tell you whether you succeeded or failed. Does that make sense? So we're trying to roll low. Because lower is better. We're trying to roll underneath our current skill value.
It's like golf.
Yeah. Kinda. The other thing you can do is, the way we'll do it is at any point where a skill is required. So you guys will just role play however you want. And then if I decide, like, okay, this is a point where a skill would come in handy, I'll ask you to roll one, you'll click the thing, we'll figure out if it's successful or not. If you fail, you can always find some narrative way to push the roll. And that's where you might, like, roll it again. If you succeed on a push roll, it's successful. If you fail on a push roll, something real bad happens. So it's risky, and like the process is exactly the same. You just roll it again and see if we're successful. And I'll probably give you a little bit of warning if you decide to push something and be like, hey, if you push it, this might happen. Some sense of like, is that worth the risk or not? And anytime you decide to push a roll, it has to narratively make sense. So, for instance, if you were trying to pick a lock and you failed it the first time and you wanted to push it, well, this time maybe you've got some tools. Maybe this time you've got a second person helping, something like that. Or maybe this time you're just trying to jam it open. You know, and that might be a different way to approach that problem that would constitute a push. You also have, you'll notice you'll have, compared to D&D, our HP is pretty low. You'll notice also you have a current sanity, right? As we encounter more and more horrific, horrible things, that sanity will go down. If it goes all the way down, or if any one loss in sanity constitutes like a loss of more than half of your current sanity, you've been proven temporarily insane, and that'll be a lot of fun. I'm trying to think of what else there is.
Is that music?
No, it's just sort of noise. That's kind of it, honestly. I explained most of the other stats like when we were going over it. The only weird, strength, constitution makes sense. Dexterity, everybody knows. Appearance constitutes both your physical appearance and your general charm. Intelligence is intelligence. Education is obvious. Your move rate won't really come into play that often, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Power is sort of like your mental fortitude, and size is just in general like how overall big you are. That could be, you could be size-wise big because you're a little bit overweight, or you can be size because you're really tall and thin. Your size can be high because you're really tall and thin. I think that's kind of it. Are there any like obvious questions?
Not yet.
Nothing yet.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, if we get something that appears confusing, we can talk about it. But honestly, the system's pretty rules light. Most of it's narrative based and character based, so it's just going to be a lot of us role playing.
Cool.
So, yeah. All right. I guess we can get started. Andrew, I told everybody else you should have in your character and like handout section, you should have like a letter addressed to you. If you want to go ahead and read that, I guess everybody else read theirs.
Oh, I see it. Okay, yeah. I need to read that right now?
Yep. So that was considered your character's like introduction to the
Okay.
universe.
Do I read it out loud, or is it just for me?
Just for you.
Okay.
Oh, I kind of want to hear everyone's letters.
And that's up to everyone to share.
Really?
Yeah. If you just like sharing the information in his letter, that's fine. Did you read yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I share mine?
Not right now. I mean, you can't just
know
do
each
it in
other?
character.
Like, what's the scenario?
So I thought that I knew Joe's character, but I could be wrong.
Joe, you're supposed to be from what did we decide? We decided you're
New
from
York.
like New York, yeah. So
Yeah.
probably not. Yeah, you will certainly meet. Yeah, I have it all set up. We'll get to character introductions when they come up naturally. We don't have to do them now.
Okay.
Everybody good? Andrew, you good?
Yes, I just need to read. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm a slow reader.
You're good.
Is am I correct in assuming this is from the handler we talked about, like my letter?
Yes. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sorry, Andrew. Yours is sort of intentionally obtuse.
Okay. I just finished reading it.
Okay, cool. All right. Are we ready? Everyone good?
Ready.
Cool. Okay. It is January 3rd, 1923 in London, England. And I forgot your last name already. So.
Lissay.
Yeah.
Or Lissay. I don't know if you would pronounce it in
Yeah.
that way. Because you're the...
Yeah, I realized I hadn't read it that way. Okay. Miss Zelda Lissay. Hey, Katie, if you want to take it over. This is what she looks like.
Essentially kind of medium, average looking, shoulder length brown hair, curled, like with curlers, kind of, traditional of the era. Definitely an assertive, on top of things kind of person.
Okay.
Is that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Those are the details you want to get?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Like
all right.
she's an academic, so she's a professor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she stands in front of a large Romanesque style building. There's a grand stone archway, and it stands between two large 5-story square towers that have these like large rounded windows. There are concentric archways that lead your eyes down to 2 sets of double doors. Hanging across the archway is a banner that reads Natural History Museum 50th Anniversary Challenger Lecture Series. A scattering of men and women are entering the museum. Some of them are walking up Expedition Street, while others are being dropped off from these luxury automobiles. Some of the men and women have the rumpled dignity of fellow academics. The couples being dropped off look mostly like wealthy donors or bored dilettantes. It is still light outside, but barely, and you can see the sun drooping behind the museum. The air is cold and crisp, and there's light snow. Most of the men are in jackets, and all the women are adorned with skirts, hats, and scarves. So you're outside the museum.
Fur?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or scarves or furs. Go for it.
What am I supposed
That's you.
to do?
You're standing outside the museum. It's just you. Uh-huh. No, I mean, what do you want to do?
Oh, so obviously I'm here to attend, so I will go ahead and walk inside, give my coat to the doorman.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed there's a lot of furs, and
Yeah.
I'm not that kind of gal, so I just have a, your regular,
Yeah, it's honestly pretty cold, so you're
like your
getting a little
basic
chilly.
parka, but
Yeah.
I'm certainly not one of the more fancier guests there.
Okay, so the doorman takes your scarf. As you enter the museum, you're immediately greeted by just this huge dinosaur skeleton right in front of you. It's like looking right at you. The dinosaur remains take up most of the middle of the large rectangular room. The sides of the room are made up of stone columns and archways, creating these little alcoves over to the side. Each one is sort of connected to the next. It reminds you kind of reminds you of a Roman aqueduct.
Mm-hmm.
At the far end of the room is a large marble staircase. One flight heads up to a landing. There's 2 more flights that split off left and right. There's a velvet rope and a docent there blocking access to the first floor landing, so you can't really go up the stairs. The growing crowd is milling about the room, looking in display cases located in the alcoves underneath the archways, or are gathering in small groups to gossip. You see some tuxedoed waiters carrying trays of hors d'oeuvres, and in an alcove to your right is a makeshift bar located to a display case containing some ancient hominid bones.
So first I'm going to go up to the bar and order an old-fashioned.
As you approach the bar, you get a good look at the bartender, and he is... What does he look like, Andrew?
Andrew. That's me. So he is in his late 20s. He is dressed up and particularly fancy, I guess, bartending clothes. He's got like a vest with like a long button-down white sleeve shirt, and then like just a simple black vest and a tie. And he is, I guess, medium of medium stature. He's kind of lean and I guess somewhat, I guess, young looking in the face, but not really. And curly black hair and blue-green eyes, I think is what I had. And if you are ordering an old fashioned, I say coming right up, and I go and start to make it.
As you're making the drink, outside a car rumbles up, and the driver drops off someone looking very important, and that is Adam. Do you want to describe yourself?
Yes.
Okay, so my character, Ebenezer Donahue.
I'm gonna love it.
That's right.
That's the best name. I love it.
Very tall, dressed in a well-tailored suit, slicked gray hair, and has a general air of self-importance that draws much attention his way. So as I step out of the car, I begin with my typical rounds of shaking hands and schmoozing people with eye contact that's not really eye contact. And do you want me to progress from there, or are you going to tell me where to?
Yeah, I mean, I assume you enter the museum.
Yes.
You can give the doorman your coat as well. And what would you do from there?
Do I have a small entourage with me?
Tonight it's just you.
Just me. Okay. So I can't send my assistant to go get a drink for me. I do have a lot of hands left to shake before I can progress to the bar, but I slowly make my way in the direction of the bar, continuing to ask people how they're doing and not really care for their answers. And when I do approach the bar, when I finally get all the way to the bar, I order gin on the rocks.
Excellent choice, sir. And I go and
if Ebenezer and Zelda were to look down the bar, they don't. But if they were, they would see sort of a disheveled, middle-aged gentleman sitting by himself, kind of looking a little squirrely back and forth, not really taking part in the proceedings, but kind of watching and observing the crowd. And that is Joe.
Oh, we have two very different mindsets of what my character looks like.
Okay, no, okay. I'm sorry. You describe. You tell me what your character will be doing.
No, I apologize. I guess we didn't really talk too much after I had
No, we didn't.
thought about his appearance. So if you were to look, he wouldn't want you to, but if you were to spot him, you would see a fairly slight, middle-aged man, like probably in his mid-30s. He looks like he sort of slept in his clothes and tried to put himself together. He's just doing his best to blend in, and he does a fairly good job at it. Very angular features. Like I said, kind of slight, slick-backed hair, suit, hat. Yeah, that's about it, really.
The hat is odd because most everybody else has taken their hat off and left it with the doorman.
Yeah.
But this gentleman has refused to let his hat go.
Yeah.
Are there any conversations happening at the bar?
Yeah, so I think I would maybe lean over to Ebenezer and be like, look at that queer fellow with his hat on. He looks a bit out of place. Ebenezer.
Oh.
I was talking to you, even though we don't know each other yet, but you were standing at the bar.
Sorry, I thought you were talking to Joe. Say that again.
No. So as I'm waiting for my drink and you're waiting for your drink, I look over at you and I say, look at that queer fellow sitting at the end of the bar. He looks a bit out of place.
To which I make eye contact with with the blonde, brown curled hair.
Yeah.
I make a quick look up, down, maybe go back up to him. Take a couple of confident steps in your direction and reach out with my shaking hand, introducing myself as County Councilman Montague.
Yes, I know who you are.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm not going to try an accent. I don't believe we've had the pleasure.
Well, I suppose you've had the pleasure now.
As you're talking, a portly, sort of gray-haired gentleman walks up and is like, oh yes, I thought we would keep the riffraff out of this one. I voted for you, good sir. You have my vote. All right. And he very awkwardly, very flusteredly walks away.
You'll have to excuse that, gentleman. It happens to me all the time.
Yes. It appears you traveled with a fan club tonight.
I try to surround myself with a fan club at all times. To be popular is to be doing a good job.
How lonely.
I don't find it too lonely.
Well, if everyone around you supports you constantly, how could you ever
In the middle of your conversation, you hear a couple of bells go off, and everyone sort of looks over to a tuxedo gentleman standing on the stairs, and he says, good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Mason. The lecture series is about to start. If we wouldn't mind moving into the lecture hall. And several of the docents around start kind of funneling everybody down one of the into one of the alcoves, where you notice is now like a hallway, and there's a door at the end. Mm-hmm. So the crowd is moving that way.
I've already handed y'all's drinks, and I'll move over to Joe's character and say, can I freshen you up before you head out?
Yeah, please do.
All right. I don't know what you're drinking.
Gin.
Huh?
Gin on rocks.
Oh, okay. So I don't need
it. Okay, so everybody there kind of moves with the crowd. As the crowd is dwindling, Dr. Mason is still standing there, and he looks over at you, Connor, and he's like, I know he's a friend of yours. If you'd like to come watch the lecture, I'm sure that'd be fine. No one's going to be out here.
Oh, really? Okay. Thanks,
I'm
boss.
sure that would be all right.
Thanks, boss.
So as you enter the room, there's a small, like, raised dais at the front, and there's just rows upon rows of chairs. This is clearly used as a lecture hall. So there's nice sort of plush seating in rows all the way down, and then at the front there's this like raised area. And as everyone walks in, a gentleman's standing up at the lecture podium. He's a middle-aged man, sort of heavy-set. He's got friendly features, but sort of a ruddy complexion to him. He also has this just huge curling mustache that kind of gives you the impression of a friendly walrus. And everybody here recognizes him as the Dr. Smith who's going to be speaking today. Does everybody go and take their seats?
Yes, I look for my VIP seat, which I assume is on either the front row or in a box.
There is some reserved seating in the front. That is one. This like it's got a little label on it. It says Counselor Donahue.
Excellent.
Well, while everyone's taking their seats, I feel like I might take this time to go off to the area where that velvet rope was. Where was that?
That was so at the far end of the main museum room. There was a velvet rope that sort of blocked access to the second floor.
Right. So I want to go check that out.
Okay, so you're going to slip out. Mm-hmm. All right, so as you slip back out into the museum foyer, there's nobody else around. Even the bartender is left. But there's still a docent standing there by the velvet ropes.
Okay, so I'm going to go over there.
Okay. Ma'am, the lecture's about to start. If you wouldn't mind going and finding your seat.
Oh, I intend to, but Professor Smith.
Yes, Professor Smith. He's in there. He's prepared for his lecture now.
He left his hat up on the second floor. He wanted me to go and grab it for him.
You know what? Why don't you go have a seat? I'll send someone, of course. That would be fine.
He trusted me specifically with this mission. Really, it's no bother. He wouldn't mind just letting me pass.
I apologize, ma'am, but I don't. I can't let anyone access the second floor during the fundraiser.
So she takes out a dollar bill and puts it in his breast pocket.
Yes.
Let's not speak of this again. Thank you. For saying, walks past him.
Excuse me, ma'am. You cannot. I don't make very much, but I am very dedicated to my job. I could get fired for this.
How much do you make in a week?
That is not up for discussion. I need you to please go take your seat.
Trust me, I'll be as quiet as a church mouse. Let me
I cannot accept that. He goes and he takes you by the shoulder and pushes you back down the stairs.
Unhand me, stranger.
I do not have my hands on you, madam. I am simply directing you towards.
Okay, well, let's think of it this way. You could lose your job when I personally report you to your senior people.
Yes.
For doing whatever I can imagine might get you fired.
True.
Or you can let me pass, and I will be discreet, and no one will know the better.
Or you can lose your job when I call the police.
No, I don't. They sort of encourage this kind of investigative research. So
this isn't research. This is a museum.
Exactly, where all the best research can happen.
All right, I'm going to go call the police now.
Okay, so I try and punch him.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow. Just right out of the gate.
Nice
Awesome.
broad. All right.
She's 40, okay?
Okay, that's fine. You can go ahead and give me a fighting check, and I forgot your skills aren't here, but I don't think you put any in there.
We don't know that. I'm either.
Pretty sure you did. It should be under fighting brawl.
I'm gone for a minute and a half, and you're already on a fight.
Well, let's just see. So it's like this.
Okay. Now let's see what pops up.
Oh gosh.
Oh god.
Oh.
Okay.
What? It worked.
Hold on.
No, it didn't.
Oh.
Oh.
No, it did really well.
Yes. Okay. So that worked.
Wait, I thought if she rolled a 96, that's like a super fail.
Yeah, I thought it had to be under 25.
I was looking at mine. Yeah. No, really badly. Okay, hold on.
Sorry, Katie. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
No, I was looking at my thing from earlier. So you go to throw a punch, but it is a feeble attempt, and he easily sidesteps you. You fall onto the stairs, and you take
5 points of humiliation damage.
you take 1 damage.
Okay. So at this point, I reach into my pocket where I always tend to keep a little bottle of ether.
God damn it!
You never know what kind of skirmishes you're gonna get into.
You have fallen onto the floor.
Yeah, I'm getting up now. I'm getting up now. Getting my
No,
handkerchief.
as you're already on the floor, the man has come by to restrain you, and
I can get out of those restraints.
Did you really specify that your character had a bottle of ether when you created her?
she did not, not even a little bit.
You don't know. Prize bottle. No? Yes? Can I?
Sure.
So how do I get out of his restraint?
Well, he's probably going to fail it pretty bad. So do another, do a dodge check for me. And I don't put any dodge either. So.
I can't get it.
It's half for whatever your dexterity was. I don't remember honestly.
Oh boy!
Oh yeah, you rolled really poorly too. So he he manages to grapple you.
And now
you're currently
at this point,
restrained.
No, at this point I start saying, "Help! Help! Hand me help!"
One of the other docents runs in from like the back of the lecture hall, because that's what this is. It's a lecture. And
I guess I'm at the back. Ooh, I guess I would have heard because I wasn't going to sit down. I was in the back.
Yeah, you would have been in the back. So yeah, if you hear that, what would you do? You see one of the docents that is standing by the door, sort of run out of the door.
Okay. I guess I go look. I go and go help or go towards the commotion because
okay.
I wouldn't have sat down as the help. So.
Sure. So you and this other docent run in, and you see up on the stairs. There's sort of a now like haggard. That the woman who was at the bar earlier is sort of haggard.
She's
and
not
there's
haggard.
yeah, she like has fallen. And is like a little disheveled.
40.
She is currently disheveled. And there's a museum docent sort of grappling on the back of her. He looks down at the two of you. He's like, this woman, she just tried to break in
What?
to the upstairs of the museum. I don't. She tried to hit me. I don't know what to do.
Hold on now. Let's all just take it. Let's all just take a nice breath. And excuse me, ma'am. Are you okay? I mean,
No, I'm
I know
not
that
okay.
the drink that I made for you wasn't that strong. Now, was it?
No, this young man tried to coerce me into something I had
did no such thing.
Okay, hold on. Let's all just take a nice deep breath now, and let's try to figure out.
Why don't you give me a fast talk roll?
So,
I also know you didn't put anything into.
This is not fair. I might have been rolling better on these.
No, you wouldn't have because you didn't. Oh yeah. The other docent does not believe you at all.
Are you serious?
Yeah, not even a little bit.
mhm.
He's going to trust the word of this other
Random ass
docent.
docent.
They know each other. They've worked together for 10 years now.
No, here it is. I guess I'm gonna try to like calm everybody down with like a I don't know.
Let's see. You've got.
I want to just tell them and be like, look, she's obviously had a little too much. Let me take her off your hands for you, and I'll escort her back to her seat.
Okay. Why don't you give me a charm roll then?
Okay. So I hit the little button.
Yep.
And what happens?
I'm playing a game with friends.
Oh yeah. Okay. You. That was a like a hard success. The docent looks. She goes, "Okay, yeah, you're probably right. She's probably just drunk."
I'm right here.
No, it's okay, Lassie. Let me escort you back, and I'll make sure to hydrate you.
This is just
Yes, that okay. That's
This is
I can take that. That sounds like a good idea.
typical misogyny. I had one
Hey,
drink.
Hey,
One drink.
all right. He's the docent sort of maneuvers you down the stairs and sort of
I'm gonna go fish.
not entirely gently, kind of gives you a little shove towards.
Women can't vote. Women can't have a drink.
Oh no, you just seem to be a little out of sorts there. What was your name again, there, dear?
Zelda.
Mrs. Zelda. My apologies. I meant no disrespect. It's just how I was raised. How I guess. No
Well,
disrespect there.
You do seem like a very even-keeled young man. Is he older or younger than you?
He's younger.
Yeah. But I'm only 40. Just kidding.
The docent's sort of like brushing himself off
Yeah.
and like replacing the velvet rope, and it's just sort of like I don't know what to do with this.
And I look at him and I go,
And so I guess I'm gonna just kind of like walk you back to your seat, I guess, or just kind of like calmly like escort you if you'll allow me.
sure.
And I'm gonna I guess I kind of usher you back, and then I'm gonna run back to the bar and kind of get some water going, and then kind of like a flask, but it's definitely water.
I'm not drunk.
Okay. While you guys were out there, Dr. Smith has been standing up at the front, kind of off to the side of the podium. And the gentleman before the curator walks up to the podium and addresses everybody. And he says, Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Theodore Mason, the Director of Events for the Natural History Museum of London, and I thank all of you for coming to our Challenger Lecture Series in honor of the 50th anniversary of the founding of the museum. This evening, our guest speaker holds the Ward Chair of Anthropology at St. John's College in Oxford. He received his Doctor of Letters from the Sorbonne, and he has recently returned from an archaeological dig in Istanbul, in the recently independent Turkey. So please welcome Professor Julius Smith. Smith walks up. Yeah, there's a big round of applause. Everyone's kind of looking around excitedly. Clearly, Smith is well respected in the archaeological world.
Does that other dude realize, oh, she was talking about a real person?
He knows exactly who you were talking about.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
So
Okay.
Smith walks up. Again, this is a big, kind of portly man, big walrus mustache. And kind of like off to the front of the dais, one of the other tuxedoed waiters sort of wheels up a slide projector and points it at a screen that you notice is sort of off to Smith's right. At this point, Connor and Zelda have come back into the room, so everybody is here for this part.
Thank you.
So Smith says, "Good evening. When I was invited here tonight, the intention was to discuss my findings from the Istanbul dig. However, I regret to inform you that my expedition turned up very little that would be of particular interest to the Natural History Museum. For this reason, I have decided to alter the topic of this lecture to something of considerable importance." And at this, like, everyone's kind of around. They're a little bit confused because they thought they were going to hear something about the Istanbul dig, which has gotten a lot of press recently because, again, there was a war for independence in Turkey for a little while before this, so nobody's had access to these sites. But he continues. In my travels from Vienna, Athens, Rome, and lately Istanbul, I have encountered many charlatans who attempt to misrepresent impossible powers and events for personal gain. In some of these cases, the more obvious motive is money. Back alley mediums, psychics, and tarot readers, they eke out a living by duping those desperate enough to seek their aid. However, in most cases, money is not the primary motive. More typical is the chance for an individual to gain notice or recognition, the preservation or defense of a spiritual belief, or occasionally for some social benefit to the community. There can be as many definitions, actually, as there are individuals. There proves to be, however, categories of repetitious phenomenon offering no simple elucidation. I refer to the poltergeist, to the traveler who finds himself dozens or thousands of miles or years from where he stood moments before, and to the haunting. My presentation tonight concerns the latter. At this last sentence, the crowd is beginning to murmur a little bit. You look around, and some of the more academic-looking members of the crowd are staring quizzically at him. The sort of posh-looking women are among the crowd are attempting to stifle giggles amongst themselves. But looking at Smith, he just looks completely unfazed. So he goes on. I say haunting and not ghost or spirit because alone of such epic phenomena, hunters can be buildings, lanterns, coaches on fours, swords, and so on, as well as men, women, dogs, bears, processions, even armies. Worldwide, the store of casual anecdote concerning hunters is enormous. And I say epiphenomena because the hunters are not linked with specific observers, and the hunting presumably occurs with or without human witnesses, as we shall see. Perception of such an event is secondary to the event itself, epiphenomenal. At this point, the crowd is out and out in disbelief. The murmuring is getting louder, but Smith he's unrelenting. He's paying no mind whatsoever to the crowd. The essential characteristics of hunters are simple. The person or thing must have existed, must have disappeared in some sense, and then must reappear once or many times. The location of this phenomenon may stay the same or may change, That which reappears may be partial and insubstantial, or may be as solid and real seeming as any member of tonight's illustrious gathering. No other conditions are needed. You notice he has the sort of clicker button for the slide projector, so he clicks it. And on the screen, you see up here a black and white photo of what looks roughly like a dingy sailing boat. It's difficult to tell because there is an overexposure of light surrounding the outline of the boat that makes the boat's outline only vaguely visible. Most curiously, only half of the boat is visible in the picture. The back half of the boat and the stern edge of the sail are just missing. Like there's no indication that they're like hiding behind anything. They're just straight up gone. Here we have a Breton fishing boat, one that would have originally been made in the 6th century, seen off the coast of Bournemont-Sea. Notice that the photograph is difficult to make out because the apparition, when seen with the naked eye, is semi-translucent and glows appreciably. You will also notice that this picture was taken while the boat had only partially passed through what I am calling the curtain of perception, the veil that separates our reality from another. He clicks the slide projector again. The next photo is of a short blonde woman standing on some stairs. The figure is a lot easier to see in this picture, but it's still obvious that the figure is glowing in some way. Here we have another haunter. This one is a woman from Fredrikstad, Norway. The woman in this photograph was reported missing nearly 20 years before the photo was taken. Each haunter appears to have disappeared from the plane of existence at some point prior to their reappearance. Typically, this period between appearance and reappearance is short, no more than a few centuries. The gentleman who took this photo is an amateur photographer who found her standing in his home. When she failed to respond in any way, to his attempts at gaining her attention, he tried to physically touch the woman and found that he was unable. While there have been reports of hauntings that were corporeal enough to physically touch, they are rare. Roll the film, please. A docent that you hadn't noticed before begins to turn a crank on a film projector that's sort of a little bit in front of the slide projector. On the screen, you now see what looks like a horse-drawn carriage in the middle of a London street. Obviously, there were no cameras back at the time, so it's odd to see this horse-drawn carriage in the middle of what looks like modern London. The horse's tail is swishing back and forth nonchalantly, as if to knock away some flies or something. But it appears to be moving really slowly, just a real slow back and forth. By this point, the audience is like dead silent. We were lucky enough to capture this haunter on film. Again, notice the hallmark glow. Of particular interest in this case is the speed in which the apparition moves. If you notice in the background here, a bird flies past, which gives you an indication as to the relative motion of the apparition. This is not a trick of the film. The apparition moves at roughly half the speed of typical bodies. Okay, you can stop. And the docent gets to the end of the film. It is my belief that such hauntings represent clues concerning a natural universe much larger and much stranger than we imagine. The walls of what we perceive as normality have a subtle flexibility. Occasionally, and I greatly hope for understandable reasons, conditions allow for interpenetration. The spectral haunting I have discussed represents attempts, perhaps random, perhaps purposeful, certainly unsuccessful ones, to return to this time and space by elements of it somehow removed. I believe that if we are energetic and not a little lucky in our observations, students of paraphysicality may one day be able to move up and down time, or to travel globally with minor effort, or to perceive that which present lies completely beyond our senses. Whether that which waits beyond is lightness or darkness or simply different, or evoked by our unstated desires, remained the supreme question which, for the present, each must answer for himself. Thank you. Smith then just unceremoniously walks away from the podium. Dr. Mason walks back up, kind of like, yes, oh, and everyone sort of There's like a smattering of clapping. Yes.
I whispered to Zelda. I said, "Miss Zelda, did you catch any of that? It's a little over my head."
Okay.
I mean, it definitely seems well thought out, and I know Dr. Smith personally, but I've never heard him speak in such a way about something so unknown before.
Interesting. And I stopped.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Professor Smith. That was most enlightening. Ladies and gentlemen, please, thank you for coming. You are most welcome to stay and continue having refreshments in the foyer.
Oh, it's my cue, and I jump back out.
And then he sort of just trudges off to a side room.
Hey, Brian, is there anything stopping me from following Smith?
Well, I'm obviously gonna go after him.
Smith has walked out through that door. So you can head that way if you'd like.
I'm going to too, because I know him and I want to be like.
Okay, so everybody else is all the rest of the crowd is sort of filing out, like whisperedly talking to themselves, and you guys are sort of like fighting the crowd to get to the bottom.
Well, considering my character's history and Smith, would I not be allowed alongside him, or would I not be able to get close to him?
Like I said, you can try to. He's just walked off the side there. To like the like I said to the from your perspective to the left of the dais, there's a door that he has gone through.
Okay. Does he know who I am?
Yes, he does.
Okay, then I'm trying to follow him.
Okay. And I guess Zelda, you are too.
Yeah, I've bid Zelda adieu, and I've gone back to the bar.
Okay. And Ebenezer, what are you doing?
I've tried to leave the room rather promptly, but am headed to make another stop at the bar.
Okay.
Before I leave together.
As you guys head down to the door, you find that the door to that left of the dais is now locked.
I'm gonna knock on it loudly.
So I turn to
You don't know.
I know, but we're both at this door now.
Yep. You don't know what it is.
Any chance you're good with locks, sir?
Is there?
I don't think you're that great with locks.
No, I'm not. I have a 1.
Yeah, so you are not.
That seems like a waste.
Well, I'm not good with punching things, so I won't try that.
Unfortunately, not much.
When you knock on the door opens and it's Dr. Mason standing there. And he says, "Yes, the reception is that way in the foyer."
And I say, Dr. Smith is expecting me.
I don't believe he is because he is no longer here. I think he went out to talk to the crowd in the foyer, so you can find him in there.
Well, we saw him go into the room.
Right, and he's made his way around to the side. He'll be out there.
Is that plausible, Brian? Does he seem like he's full of shit?
You can roll a psychology.
Fuck me.
You have no idea. You cannot tell at all.
Can I roll?
Yeah, you can roll a psychology as well. But I don't remember how much.
No, I definitely.
Can I look at the room behind him?
I put some there.
Can I just kind of look over his shoulder and see if he's like? Does this look like the room has exits?
You look over Mason's shoulder, and it looks just sort of like a sitting room. It's kind of like a green room, you know. There's like a table and some nice chairs and.
How many psychologies are you rolling?
Yeah, you rolled a bunch. You rolled a bunch of them. Let's go with
the best.
No, we'll go with that. You rolled like 10. We'll do the first one, and no, you failed. You have no idea what he's thinking.
Can I do anything?
Fuck me.
I have a. Oh, I have the So we can't see anything in there?
He's kind of staring at you guys back and forth. All you can see is there's nobody. You can't see anybody else in there. It's just like a nice table with some like nice chairs. It looks like a little sitting room.
Like a sitting room.
I'm
Okay,
heading
well-
towards the foyer and trying to catch him. Also, very important, I forgot to mention this. I have a pencil thin mustache.
very, very important. Very important.
Hi, Madeline.
There's a baby.
She
Baby.
really so I'm gonna need to call you later on so you can read her to sleep.
Yes. I love it.
So Mason is sort of looking at the two of you. And he's like, "All right," and just closes the door.
Wait, no, Mr. Mason.
Yes.
Explain to me how, if I saw him go into this room, he could have come out of this room without me having seen him.
Because the rooms are connected.
Can you show me this connecting door?
No,
Can you walk me through this connecting
he's
door?
out there in the foyer.
I don't know that I believe you.
Do I see him in the? Or well, I guess I wouldn't know this conversation, but
I'm very worried. I'm very worried about
Okay,
my mentor.
I'm sorry,
I need
madam.
you to-
Please, good day. And he closes the door. It's locked.
Ugh. What a dingle hopper.
Are you saying this out loud to?
Yes!
Okay.
It's been a frustrating night for Zelda.
I don't know what to say to that. Like that's like.
Dude.
Yeah, I just head towards the foyer trying to find him.
Okay, and
Me too.
yeah, Zelda's going to do the same thing. Okay, as you enter the foyer, everything's kind of in full swing. Everybody's talking a little bit louder. They're being a little less brusque, or I'm sorry, a little less. That's not the word I meant. A little less subtle about their confusion with the proceedings. You overhear a couple of conversations, and it's depending on what group of people is talking. Like if you pass by some academics talking, they're like, "Oh my God, Smith, he seems to have lost his marbles." And you pass by like a sort of tuxedo, very slicked hair, tuxedoed man going like, "That was the funniest thing I've heard in a long time." You look over at the bar, and there's Smith sitting there. He's ordered from Connor his usual.
I'm gonna walk right up to him, hopefully before the crazy
and
lady gets going.
I tell Dr. Smith. I say, sir, but couldn't the disappearing of the boat couldn't it have been missed? I don't understand.
I tell you, good man, it is not a trick of photography. That I only showed one during the presentation, but I have that same photograph from several angles, and you can tell in each one of them that there simply is no back half to the boat.
Fascinating. Oh, pardon me. Then I guess I'm making drinks for lots of people.
Yeah.
Is it busy?
It's kind of busy. So some of the people are sort of leaning into what seems to be a pretty weird evening for them, and drinking a little bit heavily.
All right.
Half the crowd is too busy gossiping. The other half the crowd is like, yeah.
All right. So I'm doing my thing.
Joe, what are you doing?
I walk up to Smith, and I was saying, "Look, you hired a private dick for a reason. I need you to not run off like that, okay?"
All right, he kind of looks at you and goes, "Oh, right, you, yes. Isn't it sort of your job just to follow me around? I simply can't be bothered with this."
Okay, well, certainly not making it easy, but it's your dough, so whatever you feel like doing.
Ebenezer, where are you during this?
So I've been at the other end of the bar since leaving the lecture hall, and was having side conversations with other people that walked out alongside me, pretending to be intrigued by the nature of the lecture we just heard. But then when I get to the bar and I have my next gin on the rocks, I I say to, is it Connor?
Yes.
I say to Connor, can you believe these academics just so full of themselves?
Well, sir, I don't know what to believe, to tell you, one way or another. It's all very confusing.
Well, I guess as long as someone gets a round of applause, they feel they've discovered something. And I throw back my chin.
Suppose so, sir.
Yeah, if you want.
Okay, so then I lean over and I say, Dr. Smith.
Oh, good, Zeta. I'm so glad you can make it. I'm very happy that you're here.
Yes, indeed. But what are these newfangled ideas that you are sharing with the public before discussing with me?
Aren't they wonderful? I've been looking into these paraphysicality for a long time now, and I obviously it isn't ready for university study quite yet, but me and some of the other academics London-wide have been meeting and discussing about this for a long time. As he says that, Connor, you realize that you remember Dr. Smith sort of meeting in these hushed little groups in the bar you used to work at for years and years now.
Okay.
It was him and what you just assumed were sort of his stuffy academic buddies.
Okay, then. All right. That's a kind of a mental note of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that you've been talking about it with close colleagues. I just don't know if this is the correct forum for you to introduce these ideas to the public at large.
But
You
these
may not have been prepped to hear this information, whether or not it is accurate.
maybe not. They certainly need to. These phenomena are occurring at a higher and higher rate. This is generally cause for concern.
What could we possibly do to deter unknown phenomena?
Study, my dear.
Ah, yes.
I'm gonna take a look around and see if I can see anybody sketchy looking.
Okay, give me a spot hidden.
Motherfuck! Hey, fuck you! Pour the drinks.
You don't notice anybody. Actually, why don't everybody else give me a spot hidden as well?
Okay, how do I do? What's the
So
symbol?
just go to your character sheet, find spot hidden in the skill section, and there should be a little button with like a die on it.
Okay.
Katie, you don't see anything. Andrew, nothing.
Damn.
Oh, you can, nobody sees a thing. Got it.
Right.
I'm busy pouring drinks.
Dickie, if you would like to push your roll, you could do that. Just seeing as it is your job. But if you're too obvious and looking around, you might get noticed yourself.
Narratively, I'm gonna justify that by saying that I'm not drinking anymore. That last drink was my last drink.
Okay, that works. All right, would you like to roll again?
Yeah.
Ooh. As you're looking around, you're like craning your neck now, kind of looking around. You're being a little less discreet about it than you would normally, and over sort of a not across the room, but kind of hanging out by himself, sort of near the stairs, just like holding a drink but not actually drinking from it. You notice a gentleman standing there. He's got dark skin, just a big dark mustache, and he's also wearing a hat, which is, you probably should have noticed that. And it appears like he's looking right at you, and right at your conversation with Professor Smith. And he sees you crane up, and you guys lock eyes for a second, and he sort of like gives you like a crooked little smile for a second, and then walks off into the crowd.
Awesome.
What is everybody else?
My inventory. Am I packing heat? Like, do I have?
You would be, yeah.
Okay.
I guess I'm just kind of listening in on all of the conversations at the bar, just trying to just kind of like doing, still pouring drinks, making sure that everyone's well, not fed, but
Lubricated.
I'm no longer thirsty, so.
Dr. Smith is still sort of excitedly talking to Zelda. They're kind of talking shop a little bit about the nature of the research he's done. He's like just sort of chomping at the bit for someone to be as excited about this as he is. He's like clinking his like rings against his glass really furiously.
Yes. So I also say to Dr. Smith, who's this strange fellow you hired to do what?
Oh, you know what? I thought that
To wear hats inside?
well, he's a bit odd duck, I would say.
It's luck.
What?
It's not very discreet. Are you in some sort of relationship with him?
What? No, of course not.
I mean, you hire a fellow that wears a hat indoors.
This man is he's a detective.
Who wears hat indoors?
Yes, I on my way back from Istanbul, I was constantly being hounded by these Turkish gentlemen who they seemed to be everywhere. I was confused, and I don't know.
Real or ghost?
I'm fairly sure they were real. They might have been ghosts.
I mean,
I'm sorry. We shouldn't use the term ghost. We prefer haunting.
Haunting.
They might have been hauntings, though. Although,
so how could he protect you from something he cannot see, but only you can?
I honestly didn't even want to. I didn't even want to hire them. They were concerned about me. I was talking about blood, and they said, "Oh, hire a person." I was like, "Okay."
Who is
The dean.
Okay, the university. Are they paying for this?
No, I'm paying for it. It's a pittance. It's fine.
You feel safe.
I mean, I didn't feel like I was in that much danger in the first place. Sort of abruptly, he kind of has like a startled look on his face, just in the middle of your conversation, and it's like, I'm sorry, I have to head back to my hotel now. Everyone, counselor, I didn't actually meet you, but I wanted to. I'm sorry, you don't have my vote. And he just walks away. He's out the door.
I give him a bit of an incredulous eyebrow raise, but say nothing as he turns his back and leaves.
I just follow him.
Yeah, I try and follow him. Dr. Smith.
I'm sorry. I cannot be bothered. It is my bad time.
But no, I brought you that thing that you asked for.
Oh yes. Oh right, I forgot. Did you hand it to the?
No,
And he like swiftly walks back to the bar. He's like, "Connor, my good man."
Yes, doctor.
Did she give you the whiskey?
No, because I didn't know what kind of event this was. You said.
I'm sorry, you didn't bring the.
I mean, I have the whiskey, but it's back in my hotel room.
I got whiskey in the back, right here. I don't know.
This was I asked for a special. This is a Kentucky whiskey.
Oh.
I never had it before, but last time I was in the colonies, it was to die for. I asked Zelda here to bring me a bottle, and it seems she has failed in her task.
Well, how was I to know that this bartender was the bartender who was also Irish? I mean, I had no way of knowing this was that Irish bartender.
I suppose so. You know what? I'm sorry. I must be off, and he's back out the door. He turns around again. You know what? Meet me tomorrow evening, and you know what? We will pop open that whiskey there.
Okay, but where?
At my hotel. I'm staying at and I forgot.
I'm worried about you being alone tonight, especially after such a presentation. No, not in a slinky way.
Hey.
Oh, hey.
Not in a slinky way.
Well, Miss Zelda, if you have the Kentucky whiskey, just feel free to bring it to buy.
I'm staying this flat. He gives you a card that's it's like his business card, I guess. It's got like the flat that he's rented on the back of it.
Airbnb. Yes.
And then he's like he sort of again gives you sort of a look like over your shoulder, and then he's gone.
Curious.
What is everybody else doing? Are they sticking around?
No, it's my job. I'm gonna stick with him. Like I don't. Like I'm not.
Okay. So if you follow him up the door, you see him. You see him getting into a car. He's got a driver that is in sort of a nice tailored suit, and they start driving off.
He drives up.
Well, I'm going to run out after the man in the hat and say, if you're following him, I'm following you. Let's go. Let's get a cab. Let's follow that car.
He's the one paying me, doll, not you.
I'll be no trouble.
Really?
They're like down the street and turned now.
Yeah.
We're wasting time. Let's go.
Do I know where he's staying?
No, you have no idea.
She has the card?
Uh-huh.
God damn it.
Uh,
Does she have...
Is this a No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I look at Katie and I say, "Do you have a ride?"
I'm looking at it.
Okay. If you're counting on me, I hope you've got walking shoes on. Let's go.
Let's go. I don't wear heels. I'm not that kind of lady.
Okay, so I take it you guys just start walking.
Flag down a cab, I suppose.
Running at this point.
Okay. All right. Inside, the sort of the reception's starting to wind down a little bit. People are kind of filing out.
All right. I'm cleaning up. And can I freshen your drink there, Mr. I know your name. I just don't know it.
Donahue.
Mr. Donahue, freshen your drink for the last call?
Oh, that'll be quite all right, but you've been a great sport. And I leave a generous tip and make my way down the stairs toward my car. Would I be able to see Zelda and what's Joe's name?
Dickie!
Dickie.
Would I be able to see Zelda and Dickie's predicament from where my car is located?
You sort of see as you walk down, because everybody else is just filing away, and you see the two of them sort of like kind of heatedly talking to each other back and forth just at the bottom of the stairs leading up to the doors.
Well, having the prior conversation with Zelda, whose name I guess I didn't actually get to know at the time, but having shown some visual interest in Zelda at the time, I say, "Do you need a ride, miss?"
You know, as a matter of fact, she does.
Well, I guess I can't speak for myself or vote. But yes,
Well,
that would be lovely.
And if you were to vote, I'm sure it would be for me. And I open the door for her and let her into my car.
Okay.
I'm going to, I guess, remember that I need to get this Kentucky whiskey from her, and kind of signal or flag or wave over the two ballots or whoever they were.
Yeah, the Dusins.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna be like, hey, hey lads, if you can just help me out by cleaning up this real quick. I've got to go grab this whiskey, and I split the tip between the two of them, or the three of us, and I.
They are happy to help.
Yeah.
Giving a pretty sizable number of tips.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure we made bank.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of cashed them out, and then I like, oh shit, I do need to. I have no idea where I would find her, so I guess I'm gonna go look for her.
Yeah, you run outside and you see 3 people standing there. You see her with the gentleman in the hat and the counselor, all standing at the bottom, and they're waiting for a car. I guess that's what it looks like to you. They're waiting for a car to be pulled up.
Okay. So I'm going to approach and I try to get Katie's attention, and I say, Miss Zelda, where can I find this Kentucky whiskey?
Oh, it'll be a while till I get back to my hotel, but you're welcome to come along with for the ride.
Well, I don't want to be a burden.
I mean, we'll likely end up there at some point.
Do I have a driver?
Yeah, you do, and he's gone to go get the car from the lot where they are all parked.
Okay. Hold on.
So he pulls up in the car now.
I say, well, 2 extra stops may be more than I bargained for, but you're a kind fellow, and I'm sure you'll be right there for me in September. I'm picking a random month right now because I don't know what month elections are actually held. I'm going to go with September.
I have no idea. Yeah, that was right.
And plus, the way things have gone this evening, we may need someone to make us drinks later.
You're quite right about that, man.
Gotta have bartender on staff.
Okay, so are you all piling in the car?
I guess so. Well, I do live in Center, so.
Did Andrew just quit his job?
I mean, you can ask him.
What?
Aren't you on the clock, fella?
No, it was a makeshift. So it was a makeshift like bar in there. It's not like an actual bar inside the thing. So, and I already finished up what I needed to do. So I need to get this whiskey. I haven't quit. I'm just transitioning to a new to finish this job out. I can work multiple jobs there.
Okay.
All right. So the driver's up front. He's like, where to, counselor?
And I turn to Zelda and just give her an expectant look without actually saying anything.
And then I turn to the queer fellow in the hat and I say, he seems to have a knack with tracking things down. Why don't you ask him?
You're the one with the address, Paul. Where's the card?
Oh, right. I do have the card. All right, to this place.
Okay, so the driver takes the card. And he's like, well, I've never been here before, but I guess we can make it. And he starts driving off. Do you guys want to make any like introductions so everybody knows everybody's name for sure, or it's gonna take a few minutes to get there?
Yeah, I'll introduce myself. Oh, I introduced myself. I'm my name is Connor Branson, and it's lovely to meet all of you.
Mm-hmm. You make a very right old-fashioned. Everyone, I'm sure, knows I'm Zelda Lisette.
And I'll introduce myself more personably as Ebenezer, and say I've been in service of this county since 1919. Which,
Voting is on Friday.
according to Wikipedia, the most recent council election would have been March 1919. So we're going.
So good.
Oh, maybe we can vote.
I don't. Oh man, I can't remember.
It's 1919.
I can't. No, it's 1923 is the year currently.
Oh.
I don't remember what year we got suffrage in the U.S. So
I thought it was 1919.
I know in 1920 they definitely did not. I don't know about like 23. I knew it was pretty soon after that.
Well, I thought we were in England.
Right.
We are now. She's from Boston.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
1920.
my
Never mind. So you
1920.
can vote, and you've been complaining about it for 3 years. Got it.
I can't vote in England.
You can, actually.
No, I don't own land. You have to own land at that time.
Really? All right. Either way, you could have voted the whole time.
But not easily. And not with much encouragement from the lesser sex.
All right. So it takes roughly 25 minutes. You pull up. So the driver's driving down the street, and he stops and he says, "I think this is the address." And you look out, and it looks to be what used to be a townhome. It isn't anymore. It has been completely burned down.
Are you
This
sure?
seems promising.
Is this the right place?
I mean, this is the address you gave me, so I think it's right. Unless I have it wrong.
Now let me pull up on Google Maps.
Check our latitude and longitude.
I'm sorry, serious. It doesn't look like the building's here anymore.
Interesting.
So I look to Zelda and says, "Is this where you meant for us to come?"
I don't know. I've never been here. He just gave me this information tonight. But I would hope he didn't intend to meet at the ruins of some sort of destruction.
I wonder if it has anything to do with all those hauntings you talked about. Is the house is probably just like.
I just start laughing and say, "Oh no, I'm sure it's just a misunderstanding. He must have written down the wrong address for you."
I don't know. He's a pretty thorough guy. This is very strange. So look around.
Do we
Or
see the
perhaps
car?
I will.
Do you what?
Do we see his car anywhere?
No, you don't.
Okay, so I get out of the car and go off.
Now I'll get out too and say to Alfred, who's now the name of my driver, "Will be just a minute, Alfred."
Fine.
Yeah, I also get out and say, "Wait for me, Mr. Zelda."
All right. So as you get out, again, it hits you immediately. Just that horrible, like wood lacquer smell. Sort of, acidic in your nose a little bit. And as you look at the house, some of the frame is still there, but most of it has just crumpled in on itself. There's no more roof. It is just black through and through.
Does this seem like a recent burn, or
I mean, you don't really have any expertise in that, so I don't know that you can
is it
tell.
still warm?
You do still feel like a heat coming from the building, and you want to give me a spot hidden?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really know anything else. You do feel some.
It doesn't smell like dead bodies, though, because it doesn't have a very specific smell. Like,
yeah, Dickie, you're really accustomed to going through these sorts of scenes, and as you're looking, you can see there are still some embers glowing in places. So it appears to you like maybe this was pretty recent.
So, if there's still embers,
Yep.
like clearly this happened before. Even if he was headed here, this would have happened before Smith got here.
It seems that way. The house is pretty burnt down. So yeah, your assumption is that this could not have happened while he was in the building. Because,
house?
huh?
Is this like it's not a house on a street, is it? Is it like an isolated?
Yeah, it's in an isolated lot. So again, assuming that this was the place that that Dr. Smith was bringing you to, it's unlikely that he would have been inside the building when it burned. And yeah, it didn't seem to affect any of the other houses on the street. They're these like little townhomes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see any noticeable threats.
Not obviously, like there's I guess there are some you can kind of see some of the neighbors like kind of peering through at you guys, but you don't see anybody else in the vicinity.
Hmm.
Very strange.
I guess let's get out and take a look around.
I say we should call the fire department and look around for a phone booth.
There aren't any phone booths on the street, but actually, like as you're talking about it, you start to hear sirens coming up the street.
Oh, excellent timing, sir. Let's, I guess, see if there are any survivors, or...
Okay, go ahead and give me a spot hidden, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Connor, as you're Zelda, you don't see anything.
I think my is way higher than that.
Connor, you're doing a pretty thorough job, kind of sifting through the rubble, and yeah, you're not seeing any bodies or anything.
Okay.
When you enter what used to be the front door, there's sort of a hallway, and then off to the right, you kind of head through again. You just step over the wall now. There's enough hole in it, and you look at what I guess used to be a sitting room, because there's sort of like a half burnt chair, and like clearly a stone fireplace is still there, and yeah, there's no bodies. You would smell that sort of like horrific burnt flesh, and you don't smell anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I call back. I don't see Dr. Smith, but yeah, it looks downright bad in here and creepy.
As you guys are talking, those sirens are getting closer, and you see an old police vehicle pull up, and a couple of police officers get out of the car, and they notice you guys kind of tromping through the house, and
Just start waving them
the
down.
one
Don't even
one who was
Just start waving them down. Don't even try to look. Don't even try to get away or anything.
No, yeah. I'm like,
the
oh,
one in the passenger seat gets out. He starts just bolting up the door. He's like, "You lot, get out of there!"
I move.
Yes. I promptly get out of his way and say, thank goodness you're here.
I say, calm down, officer. The fire has obviously
Excuse me.
passed. The fire has obviously passed.
Ma'am, get out of the building,
Where
please.
were you when it started burning?
He's not a member of the fire brigade.
I am not a fireman.
Well, you're clearly not very good at your job, since nothing actually was prevented here. But thank you for asking me to step out of an already burned down building.
Ma'am, this is a crime scene.
A crime scene?
If
Of
you
art?
don't, possibly, if you don't get out of the,
Some pyromaniac?
if you don't get out of the building this moment,
Do I
I'm
seem
going
like
to
a
arrest you for
pyromaniac to you?
obstruction of justice,
Just to be clear,
Justice. The damage has been
Already
done,
out of the building.
sir.
or your what is it? The police officer would know the right term for it. It is impeding an investigation, something like that. That's the actual crime.
Well, I think all
Yeah.
of your evidence may have been a bit charred.
Miss Zelda, perhaps we should let the proper authorities do their job and stay out of their way.
not entirely sure that he is the proper authority for this situation.
Ma'am, look at my badge.
He has a shield right there.
Hmm.
I'm already back at the car. I'm not even in this. Like,
I suppose, Connor. I suppose.
Let's get out of their way. Sir, thank you. Thank you.
Informed, officer. You let me know. Here's my card, and I give him my card.
just a receipt.
Yeah. Does he look at it and read it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks at it and is like, what am I supposed to take from this?
I'm a doctor, sir. I will follow through on this.
And I'm an arson investigator.
How exciting for you. I wonder who has more education.
Good Lord.
All right. Well, do give me a call.
I will be doing so because I'm going to need a statement from you. Random person hanging around the crime scene.
I am not random. You have my card, sir. I'm not some run-of-the-muck random British citizen. I'm an American.
Yeah, clearly, it sounds
Jesus
it.
Christ.
This is why everyone hates us.
You fucking Yankees.
Yeah, I know women can't vote in your parliament, but in America, we have tiniest bit more of
He's
rights.
looking at you like, I'm not even going to bother with this.
All right, well, you tell the queen.
I'll get right.
Yes, indeed.
I've stepped away now at this point.
He and the other gentleman in the car are now they enter the building and are sort of conducting their own investigation. Or the inspector you met is doing the investigation. The other guy comes up to you and he says, "Okay, now I'm gonna need to get a statement from all of you."
Say, of course, of course.
What exactly were you doing here?
Oh, well, we had just been at the Museum of such and such. I can't remember what it's called for.
Natural history.
Yes, natural history for a very distinguished occasion, and I was lending my car to this fine lady and gentleman to give them a ride home. It appears, though, that we got a little bit off track in looking for their friend and may have found ourselves at the wrong address.
All right. You're
Yes,
you're a
yes,
city councilman, aren't you?
Councilor Donahue. Thank you
Yeah,
for
I
your
think
service.
I've seen your face in the papers.
Here I am in the flesh.
You know what, Councillor, I understand completely. You and your distinguished guests, yeah, you're free to leave.
Thank you kindly, officer.
Nice. Got that clout.
And he goes to
recommend-
join the other inspector, and they're sort of doing a sweep of the building.
So I start heading back to the car where Alfred has the doors open.
Was this the right place, sir?
Yes and no, but I think we best be on our way now.
All right. Are we taking the others?
Oh yes, I believe so. I look over my shoulder to make sure that they followed me.
Do we all have to do individual statements, or was that like a pass for us to all go?
Yeah, I mean, if you're all going with, then that's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Zelda, are you going with?
I suppose.
Okay, so everybody gets back in the car, and then he says, "Well, where to?"
Wow, you're a good friend to have.
Oh, it's just part of my day-to-day service. Don't think anything of it. Now, where will you all be lodging this fine evening?
So as everybody, I guess everybody says where they are staying, and I guess everyone wants to go home.
Yeah, I guess so. I do need to get that Kentucky whiskey from Zelda. So
Sure.
Well, I mean, I did get 2, so if anyone would like to
Okay. Good job.
Have a bit of a non-sexual nightcap.
Yeah, thank you.
I said non-sexual.
Yep.
I'm 40.
I'm 40.
I'm pretty sure 40-year-olds still have sex.
Okay, so just over the next hour, Alfred proceeds to take everybody back to their respective lodgings. I assume Zelda allows you to come up and take that whiskey and then go home with it.
Yeah.
And everybody goes down for the night.
Oh, so nobody's gonna come?
No one is going to go.
My bad look.
Nobody wants to go anywhere else?
I guess I'll go back to the Natural History Museum just to make sure that the guys shut down properly.
Okay, you do that, and they've basically done the whole thing for you. They were happy to. And Dr. Mason, he's nowhere to be seen.
Okay, I'm gonna stroll home then.
And
Okay.
I don't know where he's staying, or I don't know where his office is.
You would have been put up in kind of a crappy hotel. Let's say you're staying at the Chelsea Arms, which is kind of a hotel in London. So when you go back there, you just go up to your room. Sound good? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next morning happens, and everyone wakes up, goes about their morning routine. Counselor Donahue, your man brings you the morning paper, and in fact, all of you, paper was considerably more important back then. So you've, let's see, Dickie, you find the paper outside of your door that morning. Zelda, same with you outside of your hotel room. Connor, you get it delivered to your house. Everybody gets the Times, because of course you do. And right there on the front page, everybody sees this.
Motherfucker.
Antis 3 times. What?
Is that address significant to us?
It could be. I would encourage everybody to take whatever notes you feel comfortable taking, because there are quite a few little details that might give you leads.
Is there a picture?
There's no accompanying picture. It is simply
There is no picture.
there's no picture.
Okay.
And also, why don't everybody give me another spot hidden?
Can I go there since it's in my hotel? Can I try and snoop around?
You could. Let's do this first.
Not me.
Okay, so Joe, you were successful. Adam, you were not. Andrew, no. Katie, will you give me a spot hidden?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
It's
It
right under
was
my
the last
earlier
one. Oh, okay, yeah, that's why I messed it. You failed too. So, Dickie, because you're accustomed to sort of perusing the newspaper, you also notice this. Did the second one pop up for you? Okay, it should be in your handouts. It should say number 2.
Just for him.
Yes, sure. This is sort of buried a little bit in one of the sections.
Okay. I'm gonna try and get in touch with that man at some point.
Okay.
Would be, I mean,
yeah. As you're reading the newspaper, everybody notices. So, like, as you guys are standing there, or let's see, like Zelda, you're standing by the door, and Connor, I guess you're like sitting at a table. Ebenezer, your footman, or your butler, I guess, brings another thing for you. Everybody receives this note. Everyone gets a. Oh, I'm sorry. Everybody gets a nondescript envelope. It's just straight blank. Ebenezer, your man tells you that it appeared under the door.
I open it.
Okay. If you open it, this is what you see.
Oh, great.
would have been there a lot quicker if he hadn't shaken me last night, but whatever.
As you're opening it, you notice that the envelope is sealed with wax, and there's like an impression in the wax. The note itself is written on the back of Smith's personal calling card, similar to the one that he gave Zelda the night before. So on one side, it's got his sort of personal information and like address within the university, and on the other side, underneath the note is an address for a flat in Cheapside, which is a pretty slummy area of London.
Cheaper side of town.
Yeah, go figure. And probably a little slummier than you would imagine somebody as kind of well off as Smith would ever go.
So do we need to roll stealth to get there without being followed?
You can do that if you're concerned about it. Is that where are you going to go immediately?
Yeah, sure. I'll stop by. I'm assuming they're not going to let me into an active crime scene.
Yeah, probably not.
So,
Wait,
everybody else.
I'm confused. What address do we have? Is the address that he gave us the same address from the arson scene last night?
No, it is a different address
It's a different address that he's requesting us to
go to. Yes. Yeah, because the address he had you go to, or that he gave Zelda last night was sort of these like nice townhomes for rent, and this one is just like a cheap old flat.
Got it.
Like you just given the zip code, you can tell like this is not a nice area.
Okay.
I don't know what they use for zip codes in London.
Huh.
Postal code. Yeah. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna head to the address, and if
Sure there.
I'm trying to be sneaky about it, I'll try.
Okay.
Like as I.
All right, then go ahead and. Say it again.
Like as I get closer to that that area, like that's when I'll start to be more actively like nonchalant.
Gotcha. Okay. Go ahead and did you roll me a stealth? Oh yeah. You feel very confident that no one could have followed you. You know the streets pretty well, and
Yeah,
so you're sort of weaving in and out, taking little alleys and stuff. Diggy, on the other hand, is just a fish out of water here, and despite his best efforts, cannot seem to make heads or tails of the map he's been given, and is just very conspicuous driving down the street. He keeps trying to drive on the right side,
Oh,
and you're back over to the left. It's a mess.
He is cursing loudly the whole time.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna go to the.
You're going straight there.
Yeah.
Ebenezer, what are you doing?
I'm going to tell my butler that I'm just taking a brisk walk, so that he doesn't call for my driver or expect me to be going anywhere. And then I'll walk outside, head down to a corner away from the home, the estate, and try to hail a cab.
Okay. You hail one pretty easily. You live in a nice part of town. There's lots of cabs available, so you get one pretty easily. And he takes you. He knows exactly where you're going. He kind of gives you an eye about it, like, really, this is the place you're going.
Right.
Just
say nothing.
Okay. So he takes you right there. And as you drive up, you notice everybody else has kind of gotten there at roughly the same time. Everyone's sort of hanging out outside. So yeah, it's the four of you standing outside the flat building.
Yeah, it's you lot again. Good morning.
How did y'all come to this place?
Oh, I wasn't expecting to see anyone else here, but good morning. Good to see you all again.
Did you receive a note?
I did. Did you?
Yes, I did.
Oh, did it look like this? And I produce mine.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, yes.
Are they identical, or are they just all like hastily written? Or
Yeah,
is
they're all handwritten, so they're not exactly the same. But his handwriting is pretty consistent, so you can tell that these are all roughly written by the same person.
okay. Interesting. And so what? So we're outside of a shack or something, or?
It's not a shack. I mean, it's let's see. It's a pretty small, dingy little building. I wouldn't call it a shack because it's not quite a house. It's just a little flat. There's some like connected flats to it.
All right.
But it's just like a little one room building with like these other little one room buildings all kind of interconnected. Yeah.
I look over to I guess Joe's character, and I say, what do you suppose we should do there, Colony?
I hold up my finger like I'm about to say something, but then I just walk inside.
Well, the door's closed.
I open it and walk.
You turn the knob and it's locked.
Okay.
As you knock on the door, it is very quickly opened, and in front of you is sort of a tall, stately man in a tuxedo. Zelda, you recognize this man as like a personal assistant. Like I hesitate to say butler because they're more friendly than that. But it's like his man, you know.
His valet?
His name is Beddoes.
Beddoes, where is Dr. Smith?
Yes, we've been expecting you. He's just inside.
What do you?
If everyone want to make like a psychology roll.
Yes, I would. That was creepy.
I know. God, I haven't succeeded at one thing.
Adam, it's psychology, not psychoanalysis.
Oh, I pressed the wrong one. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of can't really get a read on him. Dickie, you can tell he looks nervous. You don't really get a sense of why. obviously. But yeah, he very clearly looks nervous to you.
Does he smell?
Yeah, actually, he kind of has like a smoky smell to him, and his tuxedo, like now that you're getting a good look at it, it's a little rumpled in places. He looks a little worse for wear. He's trying to hold himself in a very dignified way, but he's not looking super.
Okay.
So he says, "Oh, yes, right this way," and he opens the door. Inside, again, just matching the outside, it's this dingy, cheap, little one-room flat. There's sort of a sitting area, and there's like a bed in a corner, and you can't, for the life of you, figure out where Betos is sleeping. I guess there's just the one. But it's all like in the same room. And there's a
I feel like I would like whisper to Joe and be like, "Does this not seem like a place someone would murder you?"
You're not wrong.
Something though.
You notice there's an armchair that's sort of turned away from you toward just there's a little fire pit. And it's not not like a full brick fireplace, but there's a little fire area with like a small little smokestack that goes up to the roof. It's not built into the wall or anything. It's just like pipe. But it's empty and looks cold. The whole room is sort of cold. But again, oddly has that kind of smoky smell to it. And you get the impression that Smith is probably sitting in that chair.
It's creepy. Oh my gosh, the music is creepy.
There, I have some playing, but it's not coming through well on ours.
I can hear it.
At this point, I'm angry. So if that's the professor, like I'm over it.
Okay. Meadows is still sort of standing there, but he's doing that where he like stands off to the side and just kind of is like staring blankly.
I'm gonna walk in front of him. I'm not waiting for him to turn around dramatically. I'm stealing his fucking dime store mystery book novel reveal.
Okay. As you make the turn, there's you see him sitting there, and he is just like slumped in that chair. He's got like a blanket over his waist and bandages wrapped all across his face. There's like a large one going around the top of his head, another kind of coming this way, and then down and around his face. In the little, let's see, the small bits of flesh that you can see sort of peer out at you from under the bandages around his like eyes and around his mouth. And that little bit of exposed skin you can see is just horrifically burnt.
Oh my gosh.
The skin it's like red and yellow and black, and it's honestly not even really skin anymore. You see like the muscle and tissue beneath where his skin used to be, underneath the lower jawline and a little bit around his eyes. You can see just a little white specks of bone where the skin has just burned completely through. And there, little places where it still looks like almost moist to the touch. And he like stares at you with just these bloodshot eyes. There's like, you can see him like kind of close them a little bit, and like not a whole lot of eyelids left.
Is it Smith? Does it look like it might be? It could be Smith.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell, especially because he doesn't have that mustache anymore. That's totally gone. You can do. In fact, actually, right now, go ahead and Joe, because you walked around. Give me a sanity roll.
Oh, fuck. Is it gonna roll? It says syntax.
Did it not do it?
It's not doing it.
Oh, weird. Okay. Okay, just roll a D100 then. Just type /roll D100.
Sorry, I'm doing this one-handed.
You're good.
That sounded dirty.
Ew.
Yeah.
Damn it. If you don't mind.
Okay. What's your sanity at?
55.
Okay. You take. Two sanity damage.
Okay.
Reduce your sanity by 2.
I think
You were like visibly taken aback by his appearance, and everybody in the room can kind of notice. You look over at Meadows, and he's desperately sort of trying to remain straight-faced.
so. I think probably he takes a couple steps back, and you just hear him make like a really high-pitched little whimper, almost.
Okay, and the Smith in the chair, he's sort of, staring at you, and he says, "Oh, thank you for coming."
You all
What
right?
the hell happened?
I think you can tell what happened.
I'm done. I think I'm dumbstruck right now.
Okay. Where are the others?
There, have y'all come around yet?
Yeah, I'll come around. Dr.
Yeah, I'll
Smith.
come.
Okay.
Yeah,
I will say that given Dickie's reaction, you kind of give it a wide berth.
Yeah.
And so now you can all see him, and
wait.
Yeah,
kind
I
of
look
want to
nauseous.
make you turn away a little bit because it's bad, it's mangled.
Oh, doctor. You don't look good.
I'm not the handsome man I used to be.
I'm throwing up inside my mouth a little bit.
How did this happen?
There was a fire.
What caused the fire?
I don't know, but thank God you've come.
Is this connected to your research?
I have to think it must be. He's wheezy. You can hear him, but it's not super audible.
Yeah.
Because of my injuries, I cannot bear to talk for long. So please listen, and Meadows, he'll answer any questions you have. So I've been on the trail of an occult artifact of great levels. The simulacrum. If you want to write that down, that's
Wait, what did he say?
I couldn't
Is
say.
that
it's SEDEFKAR. Sedefkar. Simulacrum. 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 It is a statue, a source of great magical power, evil power. At the end of the 18th century, it was taken apart, and the pieces were scattered across Europe. I plan to receive the pieces and to destroy it. That's why I went to Istanbul. And last night, Meadows and I were where we came upon a house that was
What do you mean?
Alone.
Oh,
We-
just everything. Everything.
we were attacked
Just
last
everything.
night
Thank you.
by Turkish admin. I think they seek simulacrum, but
Thanks, Doug.
try to get away. I'm afraid we had to come in hiding, and I'm afraid this thing will stop at nothing. Beddoes has a plan for us to escape, but the less said of that, the better. My notes destroyed in the fire, unless the Turks have them. They must not be allowed to discover the statue. I ask you, please, my friends, please collect it before we can reach it.
How can we find them?
Well, okay, here's what I remember from my research. Here's where the statue was dismembered. The owner was a noble, Comte Fenwick was his name. He lost it just prior to the French Revolution. Some part of it may still be there. Napoleon's soldiers, they carried a piece of it to Venice when they invaded. It was sold to a man called Elvis de Clemency. Another fragment made its way to Trieste at the same time. I don't know what became of it, but look up Johann Winkelmann. He's at the museum there. He'll know what to do.
Where?
That's at Trieste. And I think there might be there might be a piece in Serbia. Start at the Belgrade Museum. Who's the man name now? The curator, his name is Dr. Milovan Fedorovic. And I know that one part was lost near Sofia during the Bulgarian War in 1875. At that time, things of value were hidden from the invaders, so it might be buried somewhere. I don't know. The final piece of the simulacrum, it was in circulation in Paris just after the Great War, and was sold to someone from Milan. I don't know who. That's all I can tell you. You must collect it. When you have it, there's only one way to destroy it. Destroy it. You must destroy it. Take it back to its original home, a place in Constantinople called the Shunned Mosque. There are niches there in which it once lay. There's a ritual which will destroy it utterly. And it is included in a set of documents called the Sedefkar Scrolls. I have been unable to consult them. I'm sorry, friends. For me, for you, for us all, please do this for me. Go quickly. God help you. He kind of leans back in his chair, and he seems just disinclined to talk anymore. He's like out of it at this point.
Okay.
Beddoes comes over and hands him a glass, and he's just sort of trying to help him sip from the glass. It's not working well, and Smith just kind of lays back and closes his eyes as best as possible. So Beddoes is standing there, and he kind of is looking at the rest of you, and again, he's sort of visibly shaken. He, without saying anything, he walks over to a cupboard, sort of weirdly placed in the corner of the room, because this place is pretty and he pulls out a bag, just sort of like a nice bag, and he walks over to it and hands it to Ebenezer, and he says, "In here are 200 Bank of England £5 notes. You have £1,000 sterling. Gentlemen, my master is in mean circumstances by choice to evade those wicked men. He wishes nothing to contribute to your success, and he desires no accounting. Before this dreadful attack, he had planned to travel via the Simplon Orient Express, and my master, he's accustomed to comfort." And he and just stops talking.
Dr. Smith?
Miss Dr. Smith doesn't respond.
Can I try to do, I guess, first aid to like help, I guess, age what is there? Like, I know I'm not gonna like revive him or anything, but
you start to walk over to him, and Beto says, "Please don't. We have a doctor. He will be fine. He just needs his rest."
okay.
He's sort of staring at you blankly. He's like trying to hand the briefcase to you. Like, "Here you are."
So Ebenezer?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Please,
That's it.
you make due haste.
Perhaps we should leave the good doctor to get his rest. I try to urge the group to step out of the building with the briefcase.
Okay. What is everybody else doing?
I concur.
Yeah, I just silently follow and very shaken.
Okay. Iggy, what are you doing?
The same, I guess. I'm not. Are those sanity points gone forever, or is that temporary?
They're gone.
Fuck.
You're just slightly more insane.
Okay, fair enough. I stop and I ask.
Back. I'm gonna do like a where you can step back. Oh, there is one thing I forgot to mention. If you successfully use a skill, so like if you pass any of those spot hidden checks, there should be like a little button next to it where you can click and check mark it. That so will know that you can try to level up that skill later on. So if you passed something like Joe, you got the spot hidden, you got psychology earlier, go ahead and click that.
What are we clicking?
There should be like to the left of every skill, there should be a little box that you can click that gives like a check mark.
Uh-huh.
And at the end of each sort of leg of the journey, I'll give everyone the chance to like improve that skill that they were successful with.
Oh, sweet. I got stealth and my charm earlier.
Okay. On the way out, I'm going to stop and I want to talk to Beddoes. What the hell happened? Front to back. How did he get like that?
Well, he was burned. There was a fire at the place that we rented.
That's
How
it?
are you not burned, Meadows?
I was more careful.
What? Who started the fire, Beddoes? Did you see anyone?
We did not see our assailants, but I have to assume it was the Turkish men who have been hounding us since Istanbul.
I described the man I saw last night to Beddoes and asked if that sounds like the guy who's been following.
He sounds decidedly Turkish to me. I don't know. There were certainly multiple, so that
Okay.
might have been one of them. I'm not sure.
Let's get along, I guess.
The next express leaves this following Monday, so you have a few days to reach Paris.
In real life, I have to leave in a few minutes.
Okay.
Sorry about
All
that.
right. This is a good place to stop anyway.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess I'm willing to take the trip. Is everyone else?
I've got a job that I can't very well leave. But this
I will say if you open the case, there is genuinely £1,000 in there.
Yeah.
Which at this time is a small fortune.
okay. I will be putting in my 2 weeks.
Yes, Connor, Destiny calls.
Even for you, Adam, like that's a pretty substantial sum.
Yeah, and no doubt influenced by the money I say that I will need to speak with some colleagues and with my staff about rearranging the calendar of this next week. But I can join you on this journey.
Well, you should have a few days until you need to be.
Yeah, to get all of our affairs in order before we leave.
I'm gonna send a telegram to my handler updating him on the situation and where I'm going and how much money is involved.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that from your hotel if you go back.
Yeah, and I am going to make it known that this was in no way my fault because the jackass who hired us shook me and like totally dismissed me as a bodyguard.
All right.
And I'm also going to tell her, fuck her, she owes me so many bottles.
Do you all leave?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I'll leave. I guess we should discuss. Are you going to hold on to the money, counselor, or should we divvy it up now, or like what's?
I'd be more than happy to secure it and to then personally sponsor our voyage along the express to the extent that it can be paid for from this fund.
Should we do like so? How do we go about like buying tickets and all that stuff? Or do we need to get into that, Brian, or is that just?
We can get into that next time.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you will all have a few days sort of downtime to do whatever you want with, to talk to whoever you feel like talking to or whatever before ready to take the train. So you would all know that sort of the best way to get to Paris is to take a train down to the coast and then take a boat across the channel. And there are plenty of relatively inexpensive train tickets down that direction. So it would just be a matter of getting some train tickets and heading down to the coast.
All right.
All right, we all good? Okay, so we can pick up there next time. How does everyone feel? Everyone feel good?
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for the prep.
Yeah, this one, like I said, I had to give a whole speech and all that stuff. So this one was a little more introductory and a little light on the action a little bit. But you guys did a really super job doing the roleplay stuff. That's what I was hoping we would get out of this. So I had a lot of fun, certainly.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, of course.
I think I accidentally muted Joe. My mistake. Joe, I'm sorry. I'm trying to unmute you, but I don't know how to do that. I'm clicking the button, but it won't. There he goes.
No, that was me. I did that because I had the kid and she had started to get fussy.
Oh, sorry.
Gotcha.
But yeah, thanks, Brian.
Okay,
Yeah.
so just like Andrew, any comments, any concerns?
No, that was fun. I guess we'll have to. When do you want to play next, or
Yeah, we can figure it out. We don't have to go right now. Adam has to go. We can talk in the chat.
Sounds good. Yeah, it's generally a good time for me, but we can play it by ear week to week.
Yeah.
I think Sundays tend to work pretty good for the rest of us.
Cool.
That sounds good to me at least. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks, Brian. It was fun.
Yeah.
Brian, that was a lot of fun.
Good. I'm glad. All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye, Katie.
Bye, Katie. See you later, Adam.
See you, Andrew.